the critical design characteristics of microlearning. So for any microlearning asset to do its job well and be of real use to learners, it has to adhere to certain design principles or characteristics, and these are listed on our screen. The first one, it has to be aligned with our desired organizational results. The microlearning asset, whatever is covered in it, has to cascade from our organizational results for it to really bring about that intended change in our employees' performance, which is the ultimate aim of all our training programs. And how do we do that is also yet to come. Similarly, microlearning has to be based on a single, clear, performance-based learning objective, and this will determine how long your microlearning asset needs to be. So you will have to cover all the need-to-know content, the essential content learners will need to know to achieve that performance-based learning objective. Now, sometimes a single learning objective might be so complex that a microlearning asset will not work for it. In such situations, you can break the performance objective down into its constituent enabling learning objectives, and each enabling learning objective can be covered as a microlearning module. And of course, microlearning modules have to be short and focused. So we offer all the content learners need to achieve that particular learning objective and nothing extraneous. It should also be tied to your overall learning or performance strategy. So as we discussed earlier, it has to find a place in your blended learning strategy, be part of a larger training framework. Even if microlearning is being used as a standalone training format, it still has to tie in with the other components of the training for it to be comprehensive. And when you design microlearning, we have to make sure it is mobile friendly, so that it can be offered both as push or pull learning. So push learning is when we assign the learning assets to our learners, maybe for the core training or to help them beat the forgetting curve by to prop up the forgetting curve by giving them these learning resources at predefined intervals of time. So microlearning works very well here because it won't take learners too much of their time, and at the same time, each time they complete one microlearning capsule, the main points are getting reinforced, and that way it works as a great tool for push learning. Similarly, it is also a very great tool for pull or just-in-time learning. This is because when you have your microlearning assets all mobile friendly, hosted on your LMS, it becomes very easy for your learners to access them at their moments of need. That could be either when they're traveling, when they have some downtime and would want to refer, or when they're waiting for their turn to speak to the client, or when they're stuck in the middle of the shop floor wanting to quickly look up some codes or something. So it works great as for just-in-time learning. And again, microlearning has to make the inherent value, that is the what's in it for me component, very clear to learners. So once they go through the microlearning asset, they should have a very clear idea as to what particular challenge has been solved or what is that key takeaway. That has to be conveyed very clearly, and that will tie back to covering all that is needed to help them achieve a single performance-based learning objective. So in order to ensure that the value is clear, we have to also ensure that the microlearning asset is relevant to the job task, helping them solve that particular problem which they are stuck with, or helping them learn that, gain knowledge about that particular concept for what it is intended. And it also has to be creative, intriguing, and inspirational. Here we have a whole lot of options we can choose from, and microlearning, though it is small in size, it accommodates all the learning strategies, right from storytelling to simulations, game-based learning, any strategy which we would use in a full-fledged e-learning course. All of them can also be very well used in microlearning, and it's very easy and important to make them creative, intriguing, and inspirational. But it is also equally important to ensure that we pick up the right asset based on the training need. That is, we have to ensure that the form follows the function of the asset, as we will see a couple of slides later. And also, it has to be the whatever form we select for the microlearning asset, the format we select has to be appropriate to the intended objective and the performance. Like for example, if we want to show the learners have our learners access to a document where they see the do's and don'ts of doing something, then maybe a simple infographic would do. And in such cases, maybe a video would be a little redundant, especially if your learners are going to be on a noisy shop floor. So we always tie back to the training need where our learners would be taking the training from, and that will help us decide on the format for microlearning. And of course, it has to be easily accessible on the devices that learners prefer. With that, we come to our next activity where we will see how microlearning enhances both individual as well as organizational performance. So here we have a PDF again. Please go ahead and mark your choices.
Yeah, once again, I would request all participants to download the PDFs from the handouts pod. Many are not able to find the pod. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. You can fill them up. And as mentioned earlier, we will give you a couple of minutes to fill them up. However, we will not take a look at the responses right now, as the subsequent slides, speaker will discuss about them in detail.
So here again, we have some very interesting benefits: reducing time away from work, providing immediate relevant value, minimizing stakeholder time, being easy to expand the configuration and format options, sustaining and enhancing performance. So please go ahead and mark whether they are the benefits for individuals or for organizations.
For those who are still unable to locate it, if you can go on to the right top corner, right-hand corner of your screen, you will get a handouts written pod. Sylvia, are you able to get that now?
Or what we can do is we will also send the handouts along with the webinar recording. So in case you're not able to locate them today and work on them, you will definitely be able to access them when we send the webinar recording.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, okay, then since you will get it, okay, Sushmita, then I think Sylvia still couldn't find it. So I hope, Sylvia, you've heard that we will be sharing the handouts along with the webinar recordings. Yeah, sure, Sylvia. Okay. She'll wait for the follow-up email. No problem.
Okay, but we do really hope that our other participants are able to access and download them.
Yes, some of them can, because I'm getting messages where they are saying that some of them has been
Okay.
able to.
So maybe for the benefit of those who are not able to access the PDF, I'll just read out the options which are available on screen. Anyways, as Shiny said, we will be covering them in the next screen. But the benefits listed here are: reduces time away from work, provides immediate relevant value, minimizes stakeholder and SME time, is personal, yes, flexible, adaptive, and learner-centric, fosters, yes?
Yes, for a brief time, we were not able to hear you.
Yeah. Is there anything?
No, now it's fine. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I was just reading out the options on screen. Yeah, okay. So fosters knowledge encoding, retention, retrieval, application, and transfer. Decreases development time and delivery time and costs. Facilitates collaboration, can evolve and adapt quickly, is engaging, immersive, and offers variety, expands configuration options, can be easily updated, reused, and repurposed, is targeted, concise, convenient, and time efficient, sustains, enhances, and drives performance, easily accessible when needed, where needed on any device, gets learners in and out with speed, accelerates the time to proficiency, enables faster impact on desired results, promotes self-sufficiency, allows for immediate feedback, a sense of accomplishment and achievement, and finally, enhances employee motivation and loyalty.